Chosen one, the lights lift, the room holds its breath, and every thread of your journey pulls tight as if the universe is stitching your name into this hour. You can feel the temperature of the moment rise, attention concentrating, possibility thickening, time narrowing into a single point that asks for your courage. This is where the long quiet of preparation turns into sound, where the years that felt invisible suddenly glow from within you, where the gaze of many meets the truth you have been carrying alone. You are no longer waiting at the edge, you are stepping through. It is not an accident, it is not luck. It is the natural consequence of endurance meeting timing, of purpose meeting a stage that can finally hold it. All eyes are drawn because your moment has arrived. I want you to stay with this message until the very end. Let it charge the room around you and settle into your bones. When you finish, release your warmest wishes in the comments with 777, one time, with intention. Consider it a signature under your decision to show up fully, a small act that sends a signal across unseen currents. You are ready, awake, aligned, and participating. Then, return your focus here, because what follows will teach you how to carry the weight of being seen without shrinking and to let this attention refine you instead of frighten you. You have come through a long apprenticeship with obscurity as your teacher. In the quiet, you learned the discipline of showing up when no one was clapping, the truth of doing small things well when no one was watching, the sacred art of repairing yourself in the dark so you could walk whole in the light. That darkness was not punishment, it was a forge. It burned off pretense, boiled away the need to impress, and left only what is real enough to endure scrutiny. What people will see now is not a costume. It is the architecture of a soul that survived its own winter. Visibility is a currency, and it spends quickly when not anchored to something deeper than applause. The gaze of many is seductive. It invites performance, it tempts you to become a mirror for expectations rather than a window into truth. But you did not cross the desert of preparation to become an actor on someone else's stage. Attention is not your home, and authenticity is. Let the eyes witness, but do not let them author you. Your task is not to fill the silence with noise, it is to embody the substance that silence has already built within you. You will feel the heat of scrutiny. Let it temper you, not twist you. Let it clarify the line between what is essential and what is decoration. Under the light, decoration melts, essence holds. This is how you stay steady. Practice small honesty in public like you practice great honesty in private. Speak from the center that hardship carved in you. Move slower than the crowd's urgency and faster than your fear. Smile when you can, be still when you must, and never negotiate truth for approval. Approval is seasonal, alignment is eternal. Understand that not every eye-watching carries the same intention. Some look to be inspired, some to be informed, some to be entertained, a few to be threatened. None of these intentions change your assignment. You are not here to argue with the gaze, you are here to outlast it. A storm of opinions will pass. A life of integrity will remain. Let your consistency do the speaking that arguments never could. The person who can be the same on a quiet Tuesday as they are in a loud moment of praise is the person who grows roots deeper than weather. Your story has become a compass for others, whether you asked for it or not. People will borrow courage from you. They will use your endurance as proof that endings can be beginnings in disguise. This influence is not a burden to make you perfect. It is an invitation to be faithful. Faithful to the work that formed you, faithful to the boundaries that protect you, faithful to the values that held when everything else shook. Leadership in this season is not showmanship, it is steadiness. Answering pressure with patience, projection with clarity, attention with humility. There will be days when the room feels too loud and you feel too small. On those days, do what you did in obscurity. Return to the practices that kept you alive. The morning rituals, the quiet walks, the breath before you speak, the page where you write what you cannot yet say aloud. Great moments are sustained by ordinary habits. Keep the ordinary sacred and the extraordinary will remain possible. Remember, you are not carrying this hour by your willpower alone. You are carried by every lesson that tutored you when no one was looking. Legacy begins now, not later. It is the residue your presence leaves on people, the afterglow of truth lived without theatrics. It is how you treat the last person in line when the cameras are off. It is whether your private kindness matches your public message. Build what lasts by choosing depth over spectacle, craft over clout, service over noise. When this moment becomes memory, let it not be remembered for how loud it was, but for how real you were. The fear that asks, "What if I fail in front of everyone?" is shadowboxing with a myth. Failure is not falling. Failure is faking. If you stumble while being real, you will rise with more authority than before. If you succeed while pretending, you must keep pretending to keep succeeding. You do not owe the crowd perfection, you owe yourself truth. Courage is not the absence of shaking hands, it is using shaking hands to do holy work. There is also joy in being seen, do not miss it. Joy in the faces that light up because your words found them. Joy in the quiet message that says, "I kept going because you did." Joy in the small moments between big ones, the laugh that breaks tension, the shared glance that says, "Me too." The exhale you didn't know you were holding. Let joy be evidence that you are not surviving your moment, you are inhabiting it. Guard your core while you expand your reach. Let your inner circle be a place where you can be messy and human, where you can ask dumb questions and tell the truth without a camera-ready answer. Community is the anchor that keeps visibility from turning into vertigo. Choose people who love your soul more than your spotlight, who will tell you when your pace is unsustainable and your yes is too cheap. The right voices can keep you from trading a long future for a short applause. Do not forget the body that carries you. Rest like it matters. Breathe like it matters. Eat like it matters. Exhaustion masquerades as urgency and makes foolish choices feel wise. Pace is part of purpose. Sustainable fire is hotter than a flash. Make room in your schedule for silence as aggressively as you make room for opportunities. Protect the hour that protects all other hours. When criticism arrives, as it will, distill it. Separate what refines from what only wounds. Let the knife that was thrown become a chisel in your hands. Sometimes your critics will accidentally give you your curriculum. Thank them silently, adjust where truth is hiding inside their noise, and move on. You're not required to attend every argument to which you are invited. Your voice will evolve as your visibility deepens. Allow it. Early language is scaffolding. You will replace it with beams as the house of your message strengthens. Curiosity will keep you growing. Humility will keep you grounded. Learn from those who have stayed luminous without burning out. Ask better questions than "How do I win?" Ask, "How do I serve? How do I tell the truth? How do I last?" Then, when the room grows quiet again, and it will, do not panic. Visibility is a tide, not a spotlight that never moves. The ebb is as holy as the flow. In the ebb, you retool, relearn, reroute. In the flow, you reveal. The alternation keeps you human. Trust it. You are not a product to be constantly launched. You are a person being steadily formed. Finally, remember the simplest vow. Show up as yourself. Not the polished mask the moment tempts, not the echo of what worked for someone else, not the lesser version that keeps critics comfortable. The air tastes different when someone is real. You can feel it. Let the room breathe easier because you refuse to pretend. Let the eyes that came to see a performance witness a person instead. Because the truth is, the moment does not make you. You make the moment by bringing your whole honest self to it. Stand where your feet are. Breathe. Look back only long enough to bless the road that brung you here. Then face forward and take the next faithful step. The world is watching, yes, but more importantly, your own soul is watching. Let it be proud of how you carry this hour. And when the lights dim and the crowd disperses, may you leave with your integrity brighter than the room you just lit. The pressure of visibility often arrives like a wave that refuses to recede, and the instinct is to run from it, to retreat into the familiar shadows where anonymity once felt safe. But shadows are no longer your home. You have outgrown them, and no matter how much you may long for their cover, they cannot contain you anymore. What you feel now is not a threat, but an invitation. To learn how to stand in the light without shrinking, to carry the gaze of many without letting it define you, to embody your truth in a space where compromise would be easier, but authenticity is the only path that lasts. The attention on you is layered. Some eyes are filled with admiration, some with skepticism, some with envy, and some with silent hope. You are not responsible for managing these different gazes. You are responsible only for remaining aligned with the core of who you are. Those who admire you will be strengthened by your consistency. Those who doubt you will be challenged by your resilience. Those who envy you will eventually exhaust themselves against the wall of your unshakable truth. And those who hope will find in your rise the permission they needed to rise themselves. You cannot control how others watch you, but you can control how you carry yourself while being seen. It is easy to think that visibility requires perfection, but perfection is brittle. It cracks under pressure. What sustains you in this season is not flawless performance, but unwavering presence. People do not need you to be untouchable. They need you to be real. They need to see scars that healed, wounds that closed, flaws that did not prevent you from stepping forward. The most magnetic quality in this hour is authenticity, because authenticity cannot be replicated or fabricated. It is the quiet power that silences critics and comforts seekers at the same time. There is a rhythm to this season. Inhale the attention, exhale the pressure. You are not meant to hoard the gaze of others as if it belongs to you. It passes through you like wind through branches. It rattles, it shakes, it tests, but it also proves the strength of your roots. If you stand firm, you will discover that visibility does not destroy, it refines. It makes clear what is essential and burns away what is not. Let it. The more you release the need to be everything to everyone, the more you will grow into exactly who you were always meant to be. The temptation of visibility is performance. To dress yourself in words you do not mean, to project an image you cannot sustain, to become a shadow of yourself in order to hold the attention of others. But performance drains while authenticity sustains. If you pretend, you will always fear being found out. If you remain true, there is nothing to fear. This is why so many rise quickly and fall just as fast. They confuse attention with approval, and approval with love. Attention is fleeting, love is lasting, and love will always flow most freely toward the one who dares to be real in a world addicted to masks. The gaze upon you will amplify your doubts if you let it. Every insecurity you thought you had buried will try to rise again under the spotlight, but those doubts are ghosts. They carry no real weight anymore. They cannot undo the years of endurance that brought you here. When they whisper, let them. They have no power unless you answer. You do not need to silence every voice of fear. You only need to starve them by continuing forward. Each step you take in courage becomes another stone laid in the foundation of your unshakable self. Understand also that visibility comes in cycles. There will be moments when the gaze is heavy and unrelenting, and there will be moments when it fades into silence again. Do not mistake the ebb for failure. It is in those quiet spaces that you recover, that you sharpen, that you prepare for the next wave. Both the gaze and the silence are holy. Both serve a purpose. One refines your ability to stand seen. The other reminds you how to stand unseen. Master both and you will never be shaken again. What truly matters is not the length of time that people watch you, but what you choose to do with the time while they do. Make it count. Plant seeds while eyes are fixed, because those seeds will continue to grow even when the gaze turns elsewhere. Speak truth when the microphone is in your hand, because those words will echo long after the sound fades. Use the season of attention to build what will outlive the season itself. This is how you transform a fleeting moment into lasting legacy. You are not a performer on a stage, you are a lighthouse on a cliff. Ships do not gather to applaud the lighthouse. They gather because they need its light. Your presence is not decoration, it is direction. And those who are drawn to you may not even realize why, but they sense it, the steadiness, the clarity, the quiet insistence that even in storms there is still a way forward. That is what it means to be visible now, not to be consumed but to illuminate, not to be drained but to guide, not to dazzle but to endure. Carry this truth with you. The eyes upon you are not chains, they are confirmation. You are seen because you have become undeniable. The world may argue, critics may chatter, envy may stir, but none of it can erase the fact that you are standing in a moment prepared for you long before you could imagine it. And while the gaze may come and go, what you build in this season will remain. It will speak long after the lights dim, long after the crowd disperses, long after the echo fades. That is the true power of this moment, not that you are seen, but that what is seen through you will outlive the gaze itself. The moment you are living through now is more than attention, it is exposure. And exposure always reveals what could not be seen in the shadows. Under the light, illusions dissolve and essence remains. This is why you feel the weight so intensely, because everything you carry is now visible, not just to others, but to yourself. You are confronted with the reality of your growth, the evidence of your endurance, and the clarity of your becoming. It can be unsettling to see yourself this clearly, but it is also liberating. The stage is not here to shame you. It is here to remind you that you are stronger than even you realized. Every person watching carries their own perspective, and their gaze will reflect back pieces of themselves more than it reveals the whole of you. Some will interpret your presence as inspiration, others as threat. Some will cheer for you loudly, while others will quietly hope for your stumble. But none of those perspectives hold the authority to shape your truth. Their gaze is just glass. It reflects, but it cannot create. Only you, anchored in who you have become, decide how this moment defines you. Let them watch, let them whisper, let them interpret. Your task is not to control perception, but to maintain authenticity. The temptation in seasons of visibility is to spend your energy responding to critics, to expectations, to opinions that rise like waves. But waves are not obstacles, they are simply proof of motion. They crash and they fade. To chase them is to drown. To stand firm is to let them pass. Every great figure who stood in the spotlight learned this truth. Not every voice deserves your reply. Not every distraction deserves your attention. Not every gaze deserves your energy. Your endurance is not measured by how quickly you clap back, but by how steadily you continue your walk forward while others chatter on the sidelines. At the same time, visibility will awaken doubts inside you that you thought were long gone. Old insecurities, long-buried questions, memories of failure. They will all try to rise again, magnified by the pressure of attention. But these are echoes, not realities. They are shadows of who you once were, not reflections of who you are now. The difference is that now you know how to answer them, not with words, but with evidence. Every step you take forward is proof that the voices of doubt no longer hold power. They may scream, but they cannot stop you. They may accuse, but they cannot undo what has already been built. Doubt may knock, but only you decide if it enters. And this time the door remains closed. What sustains you in this hour is not applause, but alignment. Applause is fickle. It rises and falls with the mood of the crowd. Alignment, however, is eternal. Alignment with the truth of who you are, with the purpose that carried you here, with the integrity that refuses to bend even when bending would be easier. As long as you remain aligned, you cannot be shaken. You may bend under pressure, but you will not break. You may wobble under the gaze, but you will not fall. Alignment keeps you steady when applause fades and critics grow louder. It is the invisible anchor, holding you in place when the visible storms rage around you. Understand that this season is not about proving worth. It is about embodying it. Worth was never something you had to earn, it was something you had to remember. Every trial, every storm, every hidden season was the process of reminding you of who you have always been. Now under the light, that truth radiates outward. Others may see only the surface, but you know the depth. You know the nights of silence, the battles in the dark, the tears shed in hidden places. That history is what makes your visibility unshakable. Because no matter how many eyes are on you now, none of them can undo the miles you walked unseen. This is also a season where responsibility grows. To be visible is to be accountable, not in the sense of perfection, but in the sense of consistency. People will look to you for direction, for permission, for proof that endurance is worth it. You do not need to carry the weight of saving them, but you do carry the opportunity to inspire them. Every time you choose authenticity over performance, you give someone else permission to do the same. Every time you choose integrity over approval, you light a path others can follow. This is the quiet responsibility of being seen, not to impress, but to guide by example. Legacy begins in moments like this. Legacy is not carved in the loudest applause or the brightest lights. It is carved in the choices made when you are most visible. Will you remain true when compromise could gain you more followers? Will you remain steady when critics swarm and praise fades? Will you continue building when the eyes of many turn elsewhere? These choices matter more than the moment itself, because the moment will pass, but the impact of your presence will remain. That impact is what will be remembered long after the lights dim and the stage is empty. Do not fear the fading of visibility when it comes. Every tide that rises also recedes. The ebb is not a sign of failure, it is a chance to rest, to recenter, to prepare for the next wave. Visibility is not a straight line, it is a rhythm. And those who master the rhythm will never be destroyed by its changes. Let the gaze refine you when it is heavy, and let the silence restore you when it is light. Both are gifts, both are necessary, both are part of the cycle that keeps you balanced, grounded, and strong enough to endure not just one moment, but many. In the end, this season of visibility is not about what others see. It is about what you allow yourself to see. For the first time, you are looking at yourself through unfiltered light, and what you see is someone who survived, someone who grew, someone who was always destined for more. That realization is the true gift of this moment. The eyes of others will eventually turn away, but your own eyes will always remember what you discovered here, that you were always enough, that you were always chosen, that you were always ready, even when you didn't feel like it. And that truth will carry you into every season still to come. The season you are walking in now demands a kind of strength that is not loud but steady. Visibility is not about dazzling the crowd for a moment. It is about carrying the light long enough that it becomes impossible to deny. When all eyes are on you, it is not applause that keeps you standing, but the quiet conviction built in years when no one was watching. You are discovering that strength is not measured in how much noise you can make, but in how deeply you can remain grounded when the noise around you grows deafening. The gaze of many may feel overwhelming, but it cannot break what has already been forged inside of you. Every look directed toward you carries expectation. Some hope to be inspired, others wait for you to fail, and still others simply want to see if you will remain. What they all share in common is this: they are watching. And the most powerful response you can give is consistency. Not dramatic displays, not endless explanations, but the quiet proof of a life that continues to align itself with truth. Consistency is louder than applause, more enduring than criticism, and more magnetic than any performance. When people see that you are the same in the spotlight as you were in the shadows, their respect deepens, whether they admit it or not. The pressure of being seen can tempt you into constant reaction. Every whisper feels urgent, every opinion feels important, every comment feels like a verdict. But not every voice deserves your energy. Some words are distractions disguised as counsel. Some doubts are projections disguised as truth. Some critiques are only reflections of someone else's fear. To respond to them all is to drain yourself. To discern and remain focused is to protect your power. What sustains you now is not fighting every battle, it is choosing the ones that matter and letting the rest pass like wind through branches. There is also a danger in chasing the gaze. If you begin to live for their eyes, you will exhaust yourself trying to remain what they expect. Visibility was not given to you so you could become a mirror for the desires of others. It was given so you could be a window into authenticity. The moment you trade truth for applause, you lose the very thing that drew their gaze in the first place. People may cheer louder for a time, but the resonance fades quickly if what they see is not real. Authenticity is harder, but it endures. And endurance is what you were built for. The responsibility of being seen stretches beyond the moment itself. People are not only watching for entertainment, they are watching for evidence. Evidence that pain can be endured, that failure is not final, that resilience is real. Without speaking a word, your presence communicates volumes. The fact that you are here, that you have risen, that you have not been broken by what tried to crush you. This alone is enough to shift someone else's belief about what is possible. Do not underestimate the quiet influence of simply remaining. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do in front of many eyes is stand tall without apology. Legacy is written in choices, and choices matter most when the room is loud. When all eyes are fixed on you, it can feel as though one misstep will erase everything. But the truth is, legacy is not defined by one moment. It is defined by the pattern you weave through many. Do not obsess over flawless execution. Instead, commit to faithful repetition of what is true. Every time you choose honesty over performance, you stitch another thread into your legacy. Every time you choose courage over fear, you weave another line into the story others will remember. And in time, the fabric of your consistency will outlast the flicker of any single mistake. The gaze will eventually move on, as it always does. Crowds shift, attention wanders, seasons change,